All right, can we call the meeting to order?
You got minutes?
Yeah, minutes of everybody got the minutes, and I assume, any motions or anything on the minutes?
I had to leave early, so I'll abstain.
Okay. Motion seconded, Sherry?
I second it, yep.
All in favor, you gotta say roll call. Each guy's gotta say aye.
Aye.
He's always abstaining, okay.
Yeah, I'll abstain.
All right, new business. You wanna start with the beach stickers?
Yeah. So, hold on. Becky's got a technical question.
Yeah, so after every vote.
He needs to do it by, yeah, they each have to say it. That way we know that each one of them has said something. So I guess like, you don't have to record it necessarily.
Oh, I don't have to.
Well, maybe you should. Just for now, right now, everything's unanimous, so.
Well, and Bosworth abstained.
Bosworth abstained. So it's Joe, Sherry, and Jim voted in favor of accepting the minutes. You abstained?
I can make sure, Tim, did they record this one? Because there's, I guess, a feature. Yeah, so there's a feature, I think, that does actual minutes for it, too. I'm not sure from what I read.
Okay, robot.
So beach stickers. So normally we would start selling beach stickers the first week in May, and obviously we can't do that. So that's a problem. One of the many problems. There are a couple of things. One, we can push the beach sticker sales out to June 1st, and you guys can vote to do that today, just to push it out a month. The other option we have is, I talked to Joe a little bit to ask him, because I know he has trailers. The other option we might be able to have in a couple of weeks into May, like after that May 4th vote the governor talks about, we could, right outside our window here, is set up one of Joe's little EMA trailers and run our computer right through the window into that trailer and have the people drive up, walk up to the trailer and get their sticker from outside. And whether we do that now or not, even if the government reopens, say June 1st, I don't necessarily want 4,500 people coming into the office, because the virus is still going to be out there. All we're doing here, this exercise that we're all doing is only trying to slow everybody from getting it at the same time. The issue is, even if in June the government gets back opening and the town hall's open, I don't necessarily want 4,500 people walking into this office, because they're still going to have it. It may be worth us to look at having the pickup in the exterior outside, where they're not all coming into this office.
Right.
And secondly, one of the issues is if we do just decide, hey, let's just throw everything to June 1st, the problem is then on our situation, we now have this peak that we're going to hit, where everyone, now those 4,500 people are all going to try to come in between June and July 4th to get that sticker. You know what I mean? So basically, when we, the way we normally operate, we start the beginning of May so that we slow that, we span that rush out so we don't get whacked all at the same time with all these stickers, because we can't handle that many people coming at the same time. So there's two different problems we have. One is, how do we do it going forward with making sure that we don't overload ourselves here trying to issue the stickers? And number two, do we look into doing something like I kind of just mentioned, where we don't draw all these people into the building, which I think is a bad idea no matter what happens in June, quite frankly, because I think the virus is still going to be out there. The spread will have slowed, but bringing 4,500 people into town hall, into this room, really not a good idea if we don't want to wipe out the management staff of this department. So I don't know what your thoughts are, but those are the two issues I see with the beach stickers going forward.
But I don't think we can do anything until we know what's happening with, when they open it up. We can say May, but if everybody's still supposed to be in quarantine, we can't have people going to the town hall, even if they're coming up to the window.
Yeah.
So I think in my opinion, we have to just keep it on hold. I like your idea of doing it outside once we're opened up. Joe?
Well, that's going to take some time to figure out too. So, I mean.
Yeah.
If we plan for an outside sticker sale, and we don't need it, that's fine, but we should move forward, figuring out where we're gonna do it and have a plan in place. I mean, you never know. I'm hoping by June that we can get some of the things moving in the state. You know, open space.
I think that by June, we'll get things moving in the state, but for us, there's still, I mean, for us personally, there's still that issue of having all those people come into this office in June, even in June. You know, I mean, you can't have, you know, having that rush of, it's one thing when you come in, you got somebody strolling for a building permit, that's fine, you got one person at the window at a time. Here, we've cut a month off the sales, so you're gonna have all the May people and all the June people together trying to get this sticker, because you know they're all gonna wanna be back in operation by July. So we're still gonna have the same problem. You know, I don't think, no matter what happens, I don't think having people come in this office for a sticker is an
So
option.
you can't, how can you have people coming in May?
No, I'm not saying that. He's talking about June.
No, you're
Talking about
saying
when we
you can't have, you said you can't have the May and the June people coming in together.
In June. I don't want
Right.
him in June because you're gonna have double the people in here, even in
So how
June.
can you, so what's your suggestion?
We do it outside no matter what happens.
Oh, I understand that. Okay, I thought you were talking about trying to do it in May.
No,
We're trying to set this thing up in place, Jimmy, I think. If we get everything lined up, make sure it works, you know, even do a test run. That way, come June, if things change, we can just pull the trigger and get everybody outside the building.
Sure.
Get this
So you,
started.
Tim, when someone comes in for the sticker, they have to show their registration. Right.
Can't hear you, Tim.
yeah, you can't hear me? What happened?
Now we can.
Oh, I guess I was too far away. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
There's not, now, is there any record with the new system that we have that people from prior years have stickers? If they've gotten a sticker in prior year? Like, do you have a record of somebody if they come in? Or no, do you have to show it?
No, we do. The only problem with that is, like, if you move between now and then, you would technically not be eligible for a sticker, where our computer would say you still would be. You know what I mean? So if I just went off face value off of the computer system, there are people that may no longer live in town that are still in there. So if we were just to say you don't need to show your registration or anything, then anyone who's moved out of town between now and last year could still get a sticker.
I don't know if that's something to look at. If you could do something where you are able to do it online, just because this year with the situation and what we have, it might be something. I know that we might have some people who've moved, but I don't know if that's something to look at, so that we wouldn't be, you know, if there was a way to do it online for purchase of tickets of stickers, if you had one previously, to cut down some of that, and it could be done possibly online.
Well, we could technically look at them mailing all their stuff in to get the sticker with their check.
Right, it could
The only
cut
issue,
down.
no issues, do we want to then mail their stickers all back to these people, or what do we want to do?
I think if we could do something with a PDF, if they could scan it in. I mean, most people have apps on their phones now where they can take a picture of a PDF and send it in. I think if we can get their registration, proof of residency, whether it be the tax bill or the registration itself, and they were actually a sticker holder, say, for the last 2 years. I wouldn't go back further than that, because registration expired in 2 years. So if they were there, we could maybe do something where they could, once we get their information, somebody can reach out to their email, and then they can pay, whether through the collector's office or by the.
Well, even the online bill pay that they do for the school system, where you pay all the registrations for school sports, that's not a hard thing to get. You know, I mean, because we already have it.
Yep.
We already have it, so it'd just be creating the form to take that in.
How would they get the sticker?
So that's something that we could, I would think,
That'd have to be mailed to them. That's the only way
probably
to
be
do that.
mailed. Yeah, they would have to be mailed, but it might be, you're cutting out the people. So yeah, you'll have to pay the however it is, 50 something cents, whatever it is. But you're cutting out having to deal with the public.
Right. Oh, that's a good idea. I just didn't know how we were going to get the stickers to them.
It'd be less interaction.
Right, because the other thing, Timmy, if you did it in the park, where would you plan on putting this trailer? You couldn't put it in the town hall parking lot.
Right in front of our window.
Yeah, but how are you gonna have in front of your window?
Yeah.
Back it up and then we can run the cables outside and people could step up. They'll be outside the town hall, they can step up to the tailgate or the side door and transfer the information that way.
I mean, we could try the mail-in thing too. The only problem is the only issue we run into there is that outing of when they say they never got the sticker.
Either that or we have them pay online and have a day where they can come here and just pick up the envelope. I mean, I think you're still gonna have some type of physical interaction, prove who they are, because if not, we're gonna have all sorts of scams going on with people getting stickers and giving them to their family and friends, and then we'll be chasing stickers through the next
I know, and I'm always,
6 months.
whatever we decide, next year people want to know why we can't do it. And if we open up any of those loopholes this year, which any of this would be open up some of them, people go on next year, why can't they do it that way? So
I think, well, the thing is, it is different situations. It's a different circumstance. Like, so many things are changing. It's not something that you can totally say this is for this year. You know, you don't have to go back. I don't know. The outside thing would work too. If you really want to eliminate it, because it is going to be difficult if you open it up in June, because you're going to have lit lines and lines of people.
Right.
And that's going to create whatever.
right.
But are we gonna have a line of people in the parking lot of the town hall with cars, people,
Well, well, we don't. I guess we don't. Would you have?
I mean, I've seen the lines downstairs, almost to the elevator.
Although if school's closed, you'll have the whole middle school parking lot.
Yeah, no.
Well, if we got down there, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, the trailer wouldn't be on. I don't envision the trailer being in the parking lot itself. It would be up on the, that wide stretch of grass we got where they used to put the Christmas tree years ago, right in front of our window.
Yeah, I know, but the line, I'm thinking about the line of people standing in line, and, you want to try to keep them so many feet apart.
Yeah, I know, but if June comes around and the governor reopens the government, then I don't know what they're gonna do as far as that goes. But I still don't want those. I don't care if they're all standing in line and outside by themselves. I just don't want them standing in line inside my office.
Right, but I just don't think that, we should, have them all stand in line and being in the, I don't see a lot of room there. If you're gonna put a trailer there, where they're gonna stand.
Well,
I like Sherry's suggestion, go somewhere else or someplace. Well, you gotta have the computers and stuff. That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, see, here it's easy because you can put the trailer. If the trailer was right here in front, I'd run the computer wires right out the window.
Right.
And
We can try it.
I'd have the girl, Alexis, who's available, would be out there, and Becky could be in here. They can literally talk to each other right through the window. There's a problem.
Yeah.
You have that direct connection to the office. I think, I don't think he's going to open the government in May. I think he's going to push it out to June. That's my guess. The governor is looking out to like June 1st or something. My gut tells me that because I don't think we're far enough past this thing yet. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's going to push it out to like June 1st or something.
I think you're right. You're right on that. I wouldn't anticipate anything till at least June.
And I think in June, I think it will open in June. But like I said, and if the town hall all of a sudden June 1st goes back to business as normal, that's great. But I still don't want all 4,500 of those people coming in here necessarily to get their sticker. You know what I mean? Even though they can.
I agree with you.
So I mean, I guess if even though they could come in here to get the sticker, if I have them stand in a line outside, that's better for all of us than have them stand in a line in here.
I'm not disagreeing.
You can have somebody outside. They can all park in the middle school parking lot, and you can have people direct them over. So many people at a time. That's the rule. We have those barricades. We can set them up, kind of channel people through. And I think with some signage, we should be okay as far as the herd mentality. I think we could split them up out there. And I think most people are still going to be gun shy from this whole event that's going on now. I don't think they're going to be standing on top of each other. I believe even in June, they're going to be utilizing their social distancing. and try to stay 6 to 13 feet apart. So that part I'm not too worried about, but I like the idea about not being in the town hall. And the easiest thing, we could set something up, put the plan in place, measure it out, make sure everything works, and, we'll see what happens come mid-May.
Yep. We're just gonna have to wait. I agree. I agree. Why don't you try to plan on it and see what, then we'll have to go see what happens down the road.
Yeah, that's fine. You good with that one?
What's that?
Good with that? For now, we'll plan on that. We'll look into those
Right.
options.
Yes.
We're gonna have to have another meeting before, around
Yeah.
the 5th of May anyway. So, because we'll have the new hires and all that we have to deal with. So at that time, we can revisit this, but I want to work on that in the meantime, logistically. to see.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay.
All right, the recreation registration.
Yeah, so that's another issue. Recreation's a whole other ballgame. I see the beaches definitely by mid-June. I quite frankly, I see the beaches being able to open on schedule as far as this goes. I don't think you'll have the government closed that long. And I mean, we don't open the beaches till the end of June anyway. So officially. So I don't think that on that end, it's going to impact us that much, but recreation, I think it will. I'm not sure where we go with recreation because I'm not sure yet what guidelines they're going to put out as far as having that type of grouping of kids together. I mean, I don't know. I don't think, I can see them. I see them basically between you and I see them canceling school through the rest of the year. I see that sometime over the summer, they're hoping they're using the summertime with school being out of school to clear this up so that in the fall the kids can go back to school. But I don't know what recommendations they're gonna have as far as summer programming. I don't, and to be quite honest, I also don't want Dartmouth Recreation to be the first organization that brings kids back together.
Mhm.
Because if we are the first one bringing kids back together, there's a lot of parameters that we're going to be assuming. If the virus is still out there, are we going to have to implement temperature testing of the staff and the kids every day? Do we want to get involved in that? I'm not sure. And it may not be our call anyway, because the governor might keep that closed. But I mean,
It's just something we're gonna have to wait on again. It's a little different than a lot of the youth groups, DYA, DGAL, soccer. I think everybody's under the same parameters right now, just waiting to see what's going to happen.
did you have any thoughts?
Everything might be canceled.
Yeah, follow the call while you on phone with the app. Because if John, do my binder yet?
Yeah, that's like Becky said too. If at the point, and we could take this up again next month, if we do move forward with the registration, it looks like they are going to open camps, that we do that again at the trailer.
Hopefully we'll know more then.
Yeah, right.
Another
But that, to be quite honest, recreation is the one thing I think this summer
I agree.
really on it happening. I think the beach is
Yeah.
going to open. He's going to want people to get out.
Yeah.
And we're going to move forward. And I'm not sure on rec stuff yet, so I'll have to wait. All right, I'm good with that, Jim.
Okay. Returning employees applications.
All right, so Becky sent you, emailed you guys all the applications of all the returning kids, right? Correctly?
Yep.
All right, so what I did is I redrafted the returning hire letter just basically because of the COVID-19 situation. And I put basically the returning kids that we're gonna hire are all gonna be rehired tentatively based on our programming, our operation, and what we are allowed to do during the upcoming beach season. So I added a big paragraph in there basically just covering us that all the hires you do will be tentative on our program, bucket running, the rec program's running, the beach is running, etc. So that's how the letter's going. So you don't have to worry about hiring someone that we might not end up having work for. All the letters are being drafted in a fashion that they're all tentatively hired based on the open. So that's kind of how we did it. I don't have the list. You have the list. Did you hear Becky at all on this thing?
No,
Mm-mm.
I can't anyways.
Second.
You hear her now?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I'm not sure if we're allowed to say names or what have you.
I don't think, if this is being recorded, I'm not sure that you want to mention the names of the employees.
That's what I thought too. So, or just so we're all on the same page.
Can you speak up, Becky?
I'm gonna let her go in the front.
Oh, my
All
God.
right.
This is happening. So I guess as long as you're okay with the list, the one that I put a note under would
Yep.
be the only. So are you guys okay with maybe at your next meeting doing some sort of video chat? It would have to be an executive session. I'm not sure
Yeah, because
this
yeah,
one thing now, but
I think so. I agree.
It makes a lot of sense. Wait till next meeting to discuss the personnel issues.
Yeah,
Maybe
so,
we may be able to meet in person by the next meeting. Who knows?
right, and I mean, the reason we have these retirees here, we wanted to get this done, is there's still a tremendous amount of paperwork that has to
Right.
be done for the returning,
Returning.
sorry, not the retirees, the returning. There's a tremendous amount of paperwork that has to be done for the returning applicants, and Becky.
Sure.
So if we can hire.
Plus the beach. Plus, if the beach is probably going to be open, you really do need to have your lifeguards in place and everything.
Yeah. So,
Do we need should we have a vote on these kids?
so you have to kind of go, or how you've done it in the past is go kind of like by grouping
Okay.
like by position.
Okay. So we need recreation. We need all of them, right? That you have listed.
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion to hire all those kids, unless someone has one they want to hold off.
Motion.
Second.
A second.
Okay. In favor? Sherry?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
And I vote yes too. Okay. Assistant Director. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Anybody have any discussion on that? Looks like Sherry does.
No, there's just one assistant, right?
one director didn't
Right.
come back here, so we will be looking to promote someone from within recreation. to
From
take
within. Okay.
What we are looking to do, because we have the ability right now of having the vacant spot altogether, is to do that split we were talking about last year, but we were concerned because we had somebody in the spot to do that
Right.
co-director thing. So I think now might be a good time this year, and it'll be we'll do the new. We'll bring those names forward. We'll do the new hiring, put somebody in that spot. But now would be the time to do that split while we have no one in the spot. So
Mhm.
the remaining, the name that you do see here that is coming back,
Yeah.
we've talked to her and she's fine with doing the split at her location as well. So I think we can do the same thing at both places, and I think we're in good shape this year as far as getting that done. Everybody will be happy. So, but we'll bring those new assistants will come up as part of the new hires.
You all set with that, Sherry?
So aye. Yep. Aye.
I vote aye too, unanimous there. Concession. Motion for people in the concession.
Did Art look at those people? Are you all right with those people?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I called him to make sure if there was no problems or anyone that weren't aware of. And he said he's happy with that group.
All right. I make a motion to approve them then.
Second,
I second.
Joe?
Yes.
I say yes, unanimous there. Laborers. Motion,
Motion.
Second.
Second. Aye.
aye, we're set there. Gate guards.
I
Motion,
make
Make
I
a
to
motion.
approve the list.
okay, Shelley,
Second.
second. Joe?
Aye. Good.
Aye, too. Beach supervisors.
Motion.
Motion. Second.
Second.
Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Lifeguards.
Okay, so you have to,
Motion on the last, other than the first one, pending review for the rest of the list.
Okay,
I second that.
Aye. Aye.
aye.
So,
Okay, unanimous there.
Joe, you fixed your sound, so apparently it's not making that noise at the moment.
Yeah.
See,
I
So
don't know
you'll notice that
Shouldn't-
I got the squirrel running quicker for the generator.
2, 4, 6. So you'll notice on the lifeguard returning list is very small.
Yeah.
Lifeguards. So that is another big problem that will be associated with the COVID-19 outbreak, and that is we're not getting the lifeguard applications in, most likely because there are no lifeguard training classes happening. So that is going to
Oh,
so we normally have 20 lifeguards, 18 to 20 lifeguards working for us during the summer. If you look, you've got about 8 on the bottom, and you've got your 3 supervisors. You're at 11. So that's something else we have to look at. That's going to be a big, big problem.
Is there anything from the state? Because I know they relaxed all the regulations and licensing. Is there anybody, are they going to allow those who may have been expired to continue for 3 or 4 months?
So they're giving 90-day extensions for free, American
Okay.
Red Crosses. So
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the kids we have being able to continue working. I'm just worried about the fact is that we have no new kids coming into the system because they can't go through the training. That's where the problem is going to be. We'll see. It's not looking too good. So, I don't know. We may have to leave signs up all summer long saying unguarded and just put lifeguards there when we can put them there. I'll have to see how it goes. Too early to tell, I guess. We got to wait until we see what happens.
Yeah.
If we run into a problem, we can always grab laborers or other people and train them in CPR first aid. They're not lifeguards, but they could be observers. It could be just, and try to spread the lifeguards out a little bit more just to get another set of eyes. Worst case scenario.
Our laborers are already get trained in that, so they all
Yeah.
CPIAD certified.
Well, if we need, again, just to get eyes on the beach, we may be able to do something, have them walk the beach. I mean, just to be able, I think the set of eyes are a big thing. I mean, the guides that we have, they're great. They're great kids. They do a good job. But if we weren't short to keep the beaches covered, I'm not a big fan of signs. I'd rather have a human being there, just kind of keeping an eye on it. The beach.
That's another thing that's got to be down the road, I guess. Have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. That's the shortage, right, for the lifeguards you already talked about. Director's report to me.
Yeah, I've got a few things on here that have come up since we did the agenda. The first
Okay.
is I did receive the letter from Autobahn requesting to it states that they requesting to do it as they have done so in the past. However, there was an email sent from them by Lauren that was requesting them to do additional fencing only to the east, and of course is the Round Hill. So I think I don't have a problem with them doing what they've done in the past, but specify that they're allowed to do what they've done in the past. I'm not sure, based on the fact that we didn't have any birds. I don't think we've had any birds recently the last couple of years that we need to send it.
If they reported back to us on that last time, last time they gave us a report, I think it was 3 to 4 years. There were no birds present whatsoever.
They said that there were 2 birds that appeared late spring last year, and then disappeared.
Yeah, I've gone up there. I haven't seen any birds or any markings at all for that. So I think that they need to report back to us with that, with an update like they did last time with proof.
Okay, so what do you want to let them do right now?
Nothing right now until they report back. My thing is they're not going to do anything. It hasn't been there for a couple of years. By their own report, through the DEP file that they did with that marsh incident, their own report indicated there were no birds there. They haven't seen them. I have not seen a bird. Last year, I think they put the fencing up on the neighbor's property. I don't think they really did much on ours, correct?
I don't think they did any on us.
Yeah, well, that's great. They can do the same thing this year because everything worked out well.
But I think
I agree. Go ahead.
they're also looking, I believe, that the way they access to monitor them is through Round Hill, and I think that's what's going to happen.
But I agree. I don't want to see more fencing if we don't have to, there's no need for it.
Yeah, as far as accessing, that's never been an issue. I mean, they're great people, so I mean, they have a job to do. I don't have any heartache with that at all. whatever type of pass that they need, as long as they identify who it is and we give them a pass for their vehicle. I mean, that's not a big deal.
So basically, they'll want you guys give them permission to access the site just to monitor the birds, and no additional fencing unless they can show you proof that there's actually birds there.
That's correct.
I'll make a motion on that.
Okay, you got a motion, I have a second.
I second it.
Sherry,
In favor? Yes.
I'm in favor. Joe, Jim?
Yep.
Motion carries.
I'm writing it down. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's that. Let's see what else we got here. The yoga, do you want to talk to them about the yoga? I'll let Becky handle this, the way you've been in contact with her.
All right. So there is someone who wants to do yoga at Uponiganset. It would be through us, and we would somehow get some sort of compensation. She only wants to do like $5 a class, or maybe have like a card where they can do 10 weeks and it would be $5 off. So it would be like $45, 1 day a week for an hour. And then I would add it to my summer program booklet, assuming we have summer programs.
Well, that's the other problem. Everything's still up in the air. When would you want to start this?
The end of June through August, so pretty much the summer beach season.
Like when these people come through recreation, they fall under the town's insurance, correct? Or do they have to provide their own?
He has their own insurance.
They have their own insurance that meets the town criteria for what they need?
$1 million, isn't it $1 million? Yeah,
Okay.
and then they sign a contract with us. Something new.
Yeah, they have, so, yeah. Independent contractors, basically indemnifying the town and making certain that it spells out that they're not an employee of the town. And that's something that came up through Mercer. We had Anthony's office draft the
I
contract.
can't hear you, Timmy.
Oh, I have Anthony's office draft the contract that we use now for all these. So basically, like the individual who puts on the theater class at Smith Neck,
Right.
same thing. They sign a contract basically indemnifying the town and that they are a contractor. They are not employed by the town of Dartmouth for tax purposes, and they do carry their own insurance. So
Okay, what's the pleasure? Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be a recreation program that we're going to endorse, then that's fine. It's not going to be somebody going to go on the beach, because we had that issue before with a couple of people who wanted to just go out there and just put on classes there. So if it's sponsored through recreation and it's part of our criteria and our, schedule, I think it's great. I'll make a motion on that.
I'll second it.
Okay, I got a motion made and seconded. In favor, Sherry?
Yep.
Joe? Jim?
Yes.
Yep.
And I, unanimous.
All right, the next thing I have is just an update on our projects that we've been working on that have all been affected by this COVID issue. The floor in the bucket, there was some repair work. They did the work last fall, but there was some issue on the floor in the kitchen. It bubbled probably because it got too cold at night the night they did it. So they were going to come back this spring and repair it. I've been in contact with them. However, I just tried calling yesterday. Nobody's answering the phone. So I'm thinking they've all been either laid off or they're on hiatus, but I'll try to get a hold of them to see when they get them down there, because that needs to be done before we can put the fryers back and the stove back and the refrigerator back. Big deal. So I'm trying to get that pushed through for Arthur. The second issue is the bandstand. He requested an extension based on the COVID issue until June, I want to say probably like the first week in June, if I remember correctly, like June 10th or something. And I granted him that extension. But regardless, he has not appeared yet this season. And I'm a little concerned that the steps won't be done in time for the concert series. But There's really nothing I can do because you can't make them arrive. It's not essential work, so you can't force them to appear to do that work. So I'll be in touch with him. He's also out of Rhode Island, and I know that Rhode Island's handling this a little bit different. Really taking a strict approach on.
Yes.
So I'll stay on that. The same thing with Russell's Mills Landing. You know, the playground equipment was supposed to be here the first week of April, and those people have gone dark. So I'm thinking that the playground factory may be shut down at the moment. So everything, you can assume that everything we have going on is being backed up by this. We'll just have to work around them as they come. You know, upon against it, the ramp is pretty much fully done, so we can access it that way if we have to, and we can get the forms probably taken out around the steps. So it's probably usable if we had to use it with steps not completed. We just won't let people access via the front. We'll have to take the ramp up, but we'll have to. Maybe he'll get it done. I mean, we've got till like the second week in June. Just letting you know.
Okay.
The other thing is, you know, an issue that we've had going on here since we've been short-staffed and have all sorts of things now with COVID, of course. You know, one of the issues, if you remember, we had vacation time built up that we had kind of planned on starting to take Mondays and Fridays now through July 1st. And that was pretty much, we did like a couple of weeks of it, and it was starting before this COVID thing hit, where basically now we have no staff other than Becky and I. So we've been performing the core functions of the department, the burials, the cleanup. Today we were out cleaning up the cemeteries, the grave marker installations, cleaning up the parks. I'm trying to get the water on at all the parks. It's not feasible to think that we can continue that off schedule and keep, if we're going to open this department in the spring. So, you know, and I've talked to our laborer guys, you know, our adult laborer truck drivers, and two of them have, you know, they're just not comfortable working, and I understand why that is. And the third one has come into, I just have him picking up trash, doing stuff he can do on his own, because quite frankly, I don't want him really exposed to it either. And you know, I mean, they're based on, you know, it's not a good idea. So I am, you know, there is one laborer that we have coming back that I'm going to try to fire up and get him going to try to help start cutting some grass, because next week grass will probably start growing around it starting, and grass is going to start need to be cut soon. So I'll have one laborer, one college kid that I can probably send around with a mower, and we can help supplement that. But getting back, before I get too far off track here, getting back, this vacation thing of taking it, unless you want to shut down this department completely, I mean, not get it open for the summer, it's not feasible. So I'd request the chairman send a letter to the town administrator advising him of this situation, that we tried to put a plan in place to deal with the vacation and get it down by July 1st underneath the, whatever the carryover threshold is, a request that based on this COVID situation, he allows that to either be carried over, address it in some manner and get back to you. Because it's just not, I mean, there are some departments in town where they have a workforce that's so large, they can split their workforce by 50%, send half of them home for a week and have the other one work and still have their core functions. We're not big enough to do that. We basically sent home our 3 guys, or asked our 3 guys that could do anything outside not to come in for their health reasons, for their health safety. And that leaves just the 2 of us. So it's a little different situation here. We just don't have the manpower in place to send.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, and I think the town administrator is aware that there are other departments that are having problems with vacation time, just the situation the way it is. So I don't know if you draft up a letter, I guess, and have Jimmy to send. I think that'd be great. I don't know if you need that in the form of a motion or just an advisory letter to them.
Probably should do it in a motion.
I'm making a motion, Joe.
Make a motion that we notify the town administrator of our vacation issues and personnel issues.
I second it.
Motion's made and seconded. Jim?
I'm in favor.
Joe? Sherry?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, unanimous.
Well, when I get that draft, I'll give it to Jimmy for review. The last thing I have on the director's report is just in general, the COVID, the impact, which we've talked a little bit about. You know, no matter what we do, we're not until we get our guys back up to speed here, and we're still missing a truck driver position altogether. That still hasn't been dealt with before this COVID thing even started. I think at this point, I've been thinking hard that we need to focus on the things we need to focus on. We need to make sure that the cemeteries are handled, that they're cleaned up as much as we can for Memorial Day, that everything's all set as far as that goes, that our parks are clean to the point that we can clean them with the staff that we have, and we need to work backwards from that. There is no way feasible that 2 of us or 3 of us can handle maintaining 30 properties. That's just not going to happen. So we're going to have to shed some of these non-essential properties, or just, basically let the town administrator know that we'll do what we can, but it's just not physically possible to handle all those properties with 3 people or so, maybe even 4 if I'm lucky. The grass in front of the town hall, the old police station, the library, other people are gonna have to step up to the plate. It's not gonna
These 3 laborers that we have from last year, will they be available earlier?
So, where's that list? Yeah, you had 3 of them. Okay, I did keep it. I know, but I'm sure I saw 3 on that list. Okay.
And the other one?
Yeah, Jonathan. These 2.
Oh, those were the part-time ones that did the brief.
Okay. Yeah. So so the top name, yes, he's the one I'm going to get back. The bottom 2 names, they were only doing beach rake. They were the additional couple hours for the seaweed raking after the prisoners. They weren't technically they were half gate guards. We can see if we can get some in, but however, they're very young. Most of them can't run any equipment. So I don't even believe they're old enough to run a lawnmower yet.
I know once we get the other guys back, they've relaxed that 960 rule. So the hours that we use during this COVID disaster doesn't count against their overall hours. So, but I understand that.
That's not the
I know
case,
it's not the issue, but it's just something out there. I mean, if they're out there working by themselves, if they're doing something alone, and they feel more comfortable with that.
How about our lifeguards? Do we have any lifeguards now?
That might be an option. The only problem with that is,
I'm looking at a couple of guys here that I think would do it for the money.
I was thinking about that as well.
That might, and because they'll be looking for stuff to do. These kids that are home from
Right.
college that are just online, they're
Right.
I was thinking that the problem is they got to go through the training, like everybody else before we let them use the equipment. So, and that's going to take them, but they can do it. And I was thinking about it. We just have to pay them to do it.
Yeah, I think that's could help out at least a couple of them that I know have some experience. We can discuss that, later on. But there's a few of them that I know that could jump right in and help out if they're willing to do it. And I think they will, like Sherry said.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an option I thought of, especially.
how old do you have to be? 21?
No, it's
Depending on the equipment.
mostly 18, 17. I want to say it's to run the stuff that we do. I want to say it's like 18.
Yeah, and most of the lifeguards are 18, aren't they?
Yeah.
The boys?
They might. I mean, actually, one of the beach supervisors might be one that I might be able to. That might be. On our head beach. Might be, got nothing to do. Because I know he's a teacher, but I mean, I think
And the next 2 on the list, I believe, could do it.
underneath him.
Underneath the your head lifeguard.
Oh, one's a girl. That one. He must be looking at something else.
You're looking at the wrong one.
You can tell me the names.
Right.
I can reach out to a couple of them for that.
Right.
To do that, that's fine. And that's all I got on the director's report.
All right.
In old business, we have something there which we kind of touched on already.
Okay. So why don't let's hold the next meeting until we can figure out what's going on. We schedule it when it gets closer to May. unless you have a date now you want to go with anyone.
Could we just set May 5th?
Okay, that's fine with me. How about everybody else?
That way it's easier that you're all here right now than me trying to go back and forth.
Everybody have a problem with that?
Does this?
Yeah.
work?
That should work.
It's Cinco de Mayo, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
It's a Tuesday. What, any particular time? Good for everybody? Or
Weekend or
I can't hear you.
director might be busy.
Timmy and Becky, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
That's fine. That's fine. There's actually supposed to be, it's supposed to be CPC that night. I don't see it. That'll probably be pushed out. But yeah, that's fine. That works for
All right,
me.
so
May
we'll
5th.
plan on May 5th at 2:30 and hopefully we'll know from 4th.
Does 2:30 work for the rest of the board?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm working, so it doesn't matter.
Jerry?
That should be okay. As of right now, it should be okay.
All right, Marshall doesn't have a job, so he's all set.
And
Okay.
the only other thing on that old business was the assistant director thing, which I talked about the splitting. I mean, we're okay. with
Yeah.
that. Those are
Yeah.
the only- Does anybody have anything else?
No,
No?
I guess not. Motion to adjourn's in order, I guess.
Motion,
I
Sounds
got a
good.
second.
second,
Favor? Oh, Sherry?
aye,
Aye.
Joe?
yes.
Jim?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Stay healthy, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
all right.